Welcome to another episode of A Servant's Heart podcast, where you will hear about women loving others through service, fun times, helping others, and opportunities to join us ladies of the Statesville Women's Club to also be a servant with heart.
Well, welcome to another episode of A Servant's Heart. Wow, we had a great podcast the first time, and it was awesome. Do you know why it was awesome?
Why was it awesome?
Because I only said awesome like 13 times.
Only 13?
Yeah, well, I think I need a new word.
Or you need to add another one because 13 is unlucky.
That's true. That is not an awesome number.
That is not.
So I'm Shelley Arthur, and this is
Dana White.
And today we're going to begin with a member moment featuring our president, Dana White. You know, Dana, sometimes we get so busy doing the business of the club, we don't really get the opportunity to chat with each other and, get to know each other on a personal level. So today's your day. So, we're starting with a member moment. We're going to have a little bit of a structure to the podcast, and the member moment is going to be Dana White. So, Dana, tell me, how did you get involved with the Statesville Women's Club?
Well, it's really a modern thing, believe it or not. Coming from me, it's modern.
Wow.
Because I actually Googled women's clubs in Statesville.
Oh.
And the Statesville Women's Club came up, and I thought, well, this is a perfect opportunity to find out what's going on in Statesville. And I went to a meeting. There just happened to be a meeting that week, and they were getting ready to do Read Across America.
Oh, wow.
And I love books, and I love the schools I used to teach, so that made it natural.
Right.
I went to Read Across America at 7:30 in the morning.
Oh, dear.
I had to get up early, but I did it because it was important. And loved it, had a wonderful time, and they had another meeting coming up very shortly. It was a dinner meeting, and they were having a special dinner, and I went to that, and after that, I was hooked.
Wow.
Hooked me in.
So what year was that?
That was in 2014.
2014. Okay. So what would you say is your favorite or your most important project or accomplishment so far as president? Because you are our past president and also our future next term president. And thank you for accepting the position again, because you did an awesome job.
A
great job. So that's number 14.
There you go.
So what if you could pick one project or accomplishment as president in your term?
Actually, that's a really easy question for me. The Women's Club house, the clubhouse that we work out of and do a lot of our good works from, turned 95 last September.
Yeah.
And I, with the help of the board, I kind of persuaded the board, motivated the board a little bit, and then we motivated the club to do a capital campaign.
There was no threats. No, it was just encouraging.
It was nice, gentle encouragement.
Yeah, because she needs some work. Yeah.
She does. She needs some work, and it's important to me. It was important to me to see that the clubhouse remained with the Statesville Women's Club.
Yes.
And so I would say that is probably my greatest accomplishment, is starting a capital campaign.
Yeah. And so what's our goal?
Our goal is $100,000 over 5 years, but I really think we'll be at that goal before 5 years.
And I think that with you at the helm, it has a lot to do with that accomplishment.
Thank you.
So what kind of life or job experience, gifts or skills would you say contribute to you being so successful as president?
Well, the first thing, and nobody's going to believe this about me, is that I like to talk too.
Oh.
And
That's why I like you, because we have so much in common.
And I like to talk and I like to get involved. And so I got involved once the Women's Club joined the Chamber of Commerce with the Chamber of Commerce. And I do a lot of networking. A lot of networking.
You like to plug in
I do.
everywhere.
If there's a hole in my schedule, my husband will tell you it gets filled.
Wow.
So that's one of the things that I think has made me successful as president is that I go out into the community and I talk to people, I meet people, and I introduce them to our needs.
Right.
But I also tell them what we can do for them.
Right.
You know, it's not a one-way street. I don't say, we need your money.
Right.
I said, but this is what we do for the community as well.
Right.
And then I'm also pretty good at organizing projects. I like to put the projects together, and then I get wonderful support people to do the detail work.
Yeah.
And my job is usually helping to organize the project.
Right. Now, I have to say that one thing that you excel at is being a visionary. And sometimes your visions are so huge, they're squirting out the doors and windows. And it kind of sometimes scares us. But I would have to say that is key to being leader and in a leadership position, because you do have amazing visions. And then it's up to us, your support group, to kind of like human scale size it,
Bring it in a little bit.
Squish it in the box so it fits. But yeah, so you were mentioning that you're also with the chamber, and is there any other organizations that you're involved in?
I am on the board of directors for the Iredell County Partnership for Young Children.
Wow, okay.
And I'm just going to put a little plug in.
All right. Do it.
The partnership is an organization that works with mostly children ages 0 to 5.
Okay.
Because that is when most of their brain development occurs.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you get them when they're that age and you really plug in, then they're going to be more successful at older ages in school. And one of the things that we're going to talk about later is something about the partnership that we're doing with the partnership.
Well, that's lovely. That's good. So what would you say? I mean, if someone was to stop you on the street and say, Dana, what is your occupation? So what would you say? I mean, do you work in addition to doing all this stuff?
No, I do not.
Oh.
This is a full-time job for me.
Okay.
I consider myself a professional volunteer.
Yeah.
And I work. I call it my work because I do.
You take it seriously.
I take it very, very seriously.
Yeah.
And I work a lot.
Okay, so, how many hours a week would that professional volunteer job look like on average?
Well, I generally...
Or do we need to say it off the record because Brent might be listening?
Because my husband might hear this. No. He knows. He knows. I would say that I pretty much work a typical 8-hour day. But my job doesn't end at 5 o'clock.
Right.
And my job doesn't end at 5 o'clock on Friday night. If something happens on Saturday that needs to be taken care of, or if I've got letters that need to go out or whatever, Saturday and Sunday I work just as much, not just as much, I won't say that. I probably work about 3 to 4 hours sometimes on a Saturday and a Sunday.
Sounds kind of like my job. So, obviously, you're a busy woman, but, the work-life balance. So what do you do to relax and have a little fun?
Well, I like to color. I like to color. When I can concentrate enough, I read. That's a hard one because I've got so many things floating around up here.
Yeah.
That it's hard.
It's like when somebody takes a puzzle box, okay, and they do like this. Is that kind of your thoughts in your head?
That's the thoughts in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that. I knew that because I know you.
You do know me pretty well.
Yeah. I get that. So reading is hard.
Reading is hard.
Gotta have some
because
focus time.
I do, and I also am trying to learn meditation.
That's good.
Yeah, I am trying to learn how to slow it down a little bit and get the thoughts to calm down some.
Right. Right.
Because I do have lots of thoughts floating around, and
Right.
it may be 3 o'clock in the morning and something might pop into my head, and so I have to write it down or I'll forget it.
Right.
Because when you have so much in your head, you do forget things.
Right.
And so I have to write everything down, and if you saw my calendar,
I've seen it.
which
It scares me. It just scares me.
It's pretty full.
Yeah.
And so I think is going to be key for me is
Now-
learning meditation.
And meditation is really helpful. I've been doing it now. I've kind of gotten off the track for a little while, but I started doing it when I'd wake up at, say, for some reason, 3:15 every morning for like weeks. Then I said, okay, I got it.
I'm listening.
I'm listening. So I started getting up and sitting on the couch because it was so quiet. And that, nobody needing me. And that's when my meditation experience started. And it really was a good way to disconnect but connect to something larger. And the quieting your mind, it's not that you don't think, it's just that when a thought comes in, you receive it and then you just let it go.
Right.
Yeah. You don't fight it. That's awesome. I said it again. It is my favorite word.
It is your favorite word.
So the next segment, because we talked about structure, member moment, federation, focus. So because we have the GFWC, which is the Greater Federation of the Women's Club, I thought that would be kind of another good thing to talk about. And so I wanted to kind of shout out once again to Dana. It's the Dana Day because Dana recently won the Club Woman with Heart Award at our recent North Carolina conference in Charlotte. So can you talk about that? Well, I mean, the question that I had is, so what does that really mean? And is there something like, what's the criteria for winning that?
Well, the criteria for winning that is really, it's not related specifically to what you do or don't do for the club.
Okay.
You do have to have active involvement in your local district and state level.
Okay.
But it's not about that. It's about what you do that supports what we call the collect. And I'll talk about that in just a second and tell people what that is. But the key phrase that they use in the application is that the person that you nominate is basically the backbone of your club.
Okay.
So that's my new title.
Yeah, I remember that we went for that little radio spot with Billy Bob, and it was Billy Buck, his brother. I was thinking about Bob, his brother. Anyways, so Billy Buck. And I remember coming out and you saying, don't forget, we need to be nominating someone for this award. And we talked about it briefly as we were walking back to our cars. And I was like, my brain was screaming, Dana, Dana. And you said, but don't nominate me because I don't really think that I'm the one. Well, newsflash, not only did you not think you, everyone thought you were the one because you won the award. So, yeah.
Well, it was quite the honor, and I am very appreciative of the club for nominating me. It goes to my heart.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is what I do. I do this for my heart.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Well, and you through your everything you do with the club and for the club, it touches everyone's heart, though, really, So that's nice. So the next thing on my list is June 9th through 12th is going to mark the GFWC convention in Louisville, Kentucky. So that's the national
that is
convention. Is that something that you go to?
I have been to one.
Okay.
And I went to the one in Atlanta because it was close enough to drive.
Right.
And my husband went with me, and he did his thing a couple of days while I went to meetings, and then he and I took off some time and did things together.
Nice.
And so it was really nice because we got to turn it into a vacation.
Nice.
But we've only been to one convention so far. The next one is in Chicago, and we're talking after the one coming up in Louisville. And we're talking about the possibility of going to that one, but we don't want to fly.
Right. That'd be a trip.
Yeah.
So then the next thing on the calendar that I saw when I went on the website is September 30th. The Federation is going to hold its first annual National Day of Service. So can you share with everyone listening what that's going to look like?
Well, I think that the National Day of Service is an incredible thing because what it is it is promoting all of the international, national, state federation, and district clubs and local clubs to all be involved in food insecurity.
Oh, that's important.
And that is an important issue that, like we talked last time about the check that we donated to ICM.
Right, IREDELL Christian Ministries. Right. What was it? $1 buys
5 pounds.
5 pounds of food for $1.
For $1.
Amazing.
And so everybody in the organization that has signed up to participate, and they can still continue to sign up right up until September the 30th, is supposed to do some type of service, community service project about food insecurity.
Okay.
And the key is the word community.
Right.
So we're looking to get
involve the community.
Involving
Ooh,
the
that
whole
sounds
community.
fun.
And guess who would be in charge of that?
Who?
I don't know. Could it be you?
The first VP who's in charge of programs
I think
and
so.
projects?
I think
What?
so.
Oh, well, that'll be fun.
And I know it'll be a great project because you do such a wonderful job.
No,
with
I do an
programs.
awesome job.
Oh, see, I forgot the word that I was supposed to use.
Oh, that's gonna be nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure with the board of directors
That we
and
have.
all of our CSTs, our community service teams, will put all of our heads together. That's really neat. Okay. So, do you have anything else to add and before I share that little Federation fact?
Well, I forgot to say that I was going to come back and talk a little bit about what
the
college
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, tell us
And
about that.
I am going to get my notes out just to make sure that I get the information correct.
Right.
But the college was written in 1904
Oh, wow. Okay.
by a woman by the name of Mary Stewart.
Yes. I remember that.
And Mary Stewart was not a member of the Women's Federation. She was a member of the Business and Professional Women's Clubs. And then the General Federation of Women's Clubs, because it's such a powerful poem, adopted it
Nice.
to use.
Yeah.
And I looked and I looked and I looked and I couldn't find the reference that I was looking for. So I don't know if it's a wives' tale or if it's true.
Okay.
But the story goes that at the convention before 9/11, so that would have been in June probably, before 9/11, they ended the convention with the song "Let There Be Peace." Is it with me or on earth? Do you know that song?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, the song is either "Let There Be Peace with Me" or "Let There Be Peace on Earth." And I can't remember, unfortunately. And I looked and I looked and I looked and I couldn't find the information online. And then they ended the meeting with reading the collect. And a collect is simply a poem or a prayer that is read usually at some type of religious service. And Mary Stuart felt like there needed to be some type of poem or prayer that women that had wider, broader goals could say at meetings.
Right.
And so the Women's Club, the General Federation of Women's Clubs, felt that that was such a powerful thing that they adopted it. And I am going to take just a minute to read my 2 favorite lines from the collect.
Okay.
And this is how long the collect is. It's not very long.
Some members, they have it memorized.
A lot of members
impressive.
have it memorized, but I want to read to you my favorite lines. Grant that we may realize it is the little things that create differences, that in the big things of life we are at one. And then the last line of the collect says, and O Lord God, let us forget not to be kind. And I just think that those 2 phrases are very, very powerful phrases. Being kind, you never know what someone is going through in their personal life.
It's very true. I mean, if someone's rude to you, it's not because they're just mean people. It's because they have something going on.
Exactly.
I don't think anybody wakes up in the morning and decides to be nasty to another human being. So
Right.
You're right.
And so I think that just reminding ourselves that we need to be kind to one another. And, just saying hello or smiling at a stranger.
Or holding the door for someone.
Sometimes you might do a random act of kindness. Right. And someone suggested to me one time, going back to food insecurity, that instead of paying for the person's coffee behind you at Starbucks, where the coffee costs $8, go to McDonald's and pay for the meal for that homeless person that's standing in line waiting for a free cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Because, we all know that we don't like to give money, unfortunately, to homeless people, but there are reasons I don't like to give money to homeless people, but I will give them food.
Right.
And so instead of paying for a $9 coffee, pay for a meal.
Right.
And so that was what someone suggested to me. And so I've done that a couple of times. And it goes back to your heart.
And sometimes it really, if you're on a budget, it doesn't cost anything to be kind to someone. Like you said, just a kind word.
Yep.
So I found something, a little Federation fact from our newsletter about the clubhouse piano, and I just want to share that really quickly, and it does have something to do with the clubhouse. And it says each meeting was opened with community singing. Back in the day, Mrs. E.G. Gaither gave the club 60 songbooks in 1921. When the club finally had a permanent home, which is our current clubhouse, the piano was purchased for $1,400, which back in the day, that was a lot of money. We're talking 1927, right?
Right.
Was the clubhouse. So
think about what was going on historically.
yeah, the clubhouse had burned. They had rebuilt it and then bought a $1,400 piano. So there was also an anonymous gift of $700, provided that the club would raise the other $700, is what it says. So this was done by the music department with Mrs. William Wallace, as the chairman. The piano was paid for in full on September 1929, which was, wasn't that around the crash, right? Mm-hmm. This was quite an accomplishment since the club was in the process of paying for the building, and the stock market would crash the next month. And through the years, the piano has been used for piano recitals, competitions, and programs. And in more recent years, it's provided dinner music for our evening dinner meetings. Mm-hmm. And when we had our tea last year, we had a lady come in and play during the serving of our tea, and it was really beautiful. And it's got some age on her, but she's beautiful. So now on to the next segment is celebrating women making a difference. Mm-hmm. So we had our installation of officers and appointments for the 2023-2025 term every 2 years. And I just wondered if you would share a couple quick points from your speech, because it was really insightful.
So I picked out 2 things that I wanted to share.
Okay, great.
And I hope they're not too long. Mm-hmm. I tried to pick a shorter segment. But the first one starts with a quote by Oprah Winfrey. And we all know how insightful Oprah can be.
Yeah.
We can't become what we need to be by remaining what we are.
That's good.
Think about that for just a minute. We can't become what we need to be by remaining what we are. So you have to make a decision to grow. And that doesn't happen by staying comfortable.
No.
If you want to grow, you have to try things that you're unsure of, that make you nervous. You might even make some mistakes along the way.
Wow.
But that comes with growth. Mm-hmm. And don't try to be like everyone else, because if you try to be like everyone else, you're giving up something very, very precious. And do you know what that is? You.
Me, yeah.
Your individuality. Mm-hmm. If you are true to yourself, you will welcome all of your qualities. And then the other little segment that I want to read, and this one I think is important because it's about the Women's Club itself.
Okay.
Service with heart is about giving of our time, talents, money, our souls, and our hearts. And you see, I keep coming back to that word. But that's my power word,
right.
Heart. That is my power word. And I hope that I have inspired you to really come together as women and be women who make a difference. My belief is that the Statesville Women's Club is a powerhouse full of dynamic, enthusiastic, energetic women who want to be a beacon of light shining in this world to make a difference. When that door opens, will you be ready to go through it? Keep in mind, it might just be just a little window of opportunity that is opened. So you better be ready.
Well, it was an inspiring speech, and I think everyone enjoyed it. It was encouraging as well, and it really produced a challenge, because that was your challenge statement. So the next thing that we've got coming up, celebrating women making a difference, is kind of more of a social thing. So it's Wind Down Saturday, not wind like a clock, but in the glass of wine.
The glass of wine.
So it's going to be on June 24th at Wine Maestro from 5 to 8:30. And there was something tied to that. Was there tell us about that?
I would love to, because that goes back to when I was talking about the partnership.
Sure. Okay.
The Iredell County Partnership for Young Children is going to receive a percentage of the proceeds from that night.
Oh, good.
So we're doing it as a fundraiser for the partnership.
Okay.
So once again,
Put it on your calendar, the 24th from 5 to 8:30. Come out and drink a glass of wine or a beer. Bring your husband. Bring your friends. Make it a party for the Iredell Partnership for Children. That's great. So another plug for the Taste of Iredell. The proceeds are going to the capital campaign. It's our fundraiser coming in October. Did you want to make a little
I have a statement that I have to make.
statement on the record?
On the record. No, seriously. Last time when we did our podcast and I was announcing some of our sponsors, I said accidentally Butch Johnson.
Well, that was his brother. You know, because Bunch is the guy, right? Right. Okay.
So it's
Bunch,
actually
not Butch.
Bunch Johnson Funeral Homes, and I apologize to them for the error, but we do appreciate your support.
Yes, we do. All righty. So, new members, that's another topic. We've got Robin Needham, and she joined the 4th of May.
Yep. She actually came, the first thing she did was come to the tea. She found out about the tea and was all excited about that and came to the tea. She's come to a couple of coffee and conversations. She and I are we're playing schedule tag on our calendars.
All right.
So that we can get together, because that's one of the things that I also do is with potential and new members, try to have coffee or wine if possible.
Right.
And she and I are playing schedule tag instead of telephone tag.
Right. Well, neat. I'm glad that Robin has joined us, and we're going to get her plugged in with a community service team. And the kickoff for that is going to be September, where we're going to get all our teams together, and they're going to start preparing all of their projects and things that they're going to be doing in the community. I'm really excited for this fall. So I guess in the next, for the summer, we might take a little bit of a break, but there's always something brewing on Dana White's Women's Club calendar and beyond. So.
Right.
Well, did you have anything else you wanted to share with our listeners?
Well, just to mention what you just said, we always have something going on, and even though we don't have meetings in the summer, we try to schedule something informal each month. So in July, there will be something informal going on. And then in August, there will be something informal going on. June's, of course, is the thing at Wine Maestro. And if I remember correctly, August is we're going back to Wine Maestro.
Okay, great. I'm going to be out of town for the June one.
Darn.
Sad. But me and my hubs are going to go on a little long weekend. So
Well, that'll be nice.
just have a glass of wine for me.
I will.
Well, we thank you for tuning in again for a Servant's Heart podcast. And we'll see you at the next one. I hope you all have a great day.
Thank you so much.
You've been listening to A Servant's Heart, sponsored by the Statesville Women's Club. We are located at 515 West End Avenue, Statesville. To contact us, you can email us at statesvillewomansclub@gmail.com or call 704-761-8208. Our website is statesvillewomansclub.org. Remember, that's Statesville Women's Club with an A.org.